So Sergio, what are you finding in that very remote corner of Zambia of what works and what doesn't? And granted, you've just been there for 5 months.
Zambia is as I was mentioning, Zambia is in a milestone year right now with the introduction of the new curriculum. But part of the new curriculum is also the methodologies that teachers should implement at school. And one of them is trying to reach the gender parity as much as possible. Early on, like many of the Southern Africa region, countries in the Southern Africa region, parity starts more or less equal, and then it's as always, it starts dropping. But in the case of girls, as soon as they reach 7th grade, the drop is dramatic. I mean, for almost 2 out of 3 girls drop out of school. So by the time you get to 12th grade, you'll have less than 5 out of 100 that reach that level of the 12th grade. I see Zambia and places like Zambia starting to turn around the corner, trying to focus on making sure that the methodology and the pedagogy goes along with the differences there are between urban and rural, particularly, and then within that, boys and girls.
And so what happens around the 7th grade or thereafter? What are the factors that keep girls out of school?
Well, there's 2 things. It also keeps boys out of school. Let me say this very frankly, especially in the rural areas of Zambia. Boys in the culture tends to be that as soon as you are old enough to own cattle, in the case of boys, you don't need to go to school. And in the case of girls, as soon as you are reaching the age of puberty or in 12, 13, 14 years old, you are, especially in some other cultures there, is brought to early marriage instead of, so the culture has something to play, which is, one thing we have to respect yet inform. And in the case of girls, they usually don't come back to school. I mean, once they start heading a household by the age of 14, 15, they're already pregnant most of the time. And they stay at home and continue their chores. One of the things that we've been pushing towards is getting girls at least to reach 7th grade, which is the first sort of threshold of basic primary education. Studies after studies say that a girl that reaches 7th grade and finishes has a much better chance to continue, even if she drops out, to continue, has all the necessary, at least the basic skills to carry on and educate their children, even if they're 14, 15 years old.
So the She Builds campaign obviously focuses on women and girls, and we're trying to showcase new innovative solutions to have women and girls achieve their dreams and push all of us forward. How are you trying to achieve that with this project?
One of the things that I think that is happening in many schools, that we believe that helps girls, empowering girls, is through local school governments, and especially like student councils. And the more opportunity girls have within the school to learn their leadership roles, the better the chances that A, they'll stay in school, B, that they exercise the natural leadership skills that boys and girls have. And study after study has seen, that once that girls have a very, very determined, once they reach that critical mass, to keep pursuing, their career, their studies.
And are those some of the strategies that you also saw succeeding in other parts of the world? You've worked in Latin America, elsewhere around Africa. Are there differences, or what are some of the lessons that you're taking from those places to Zambia right now?
I think the role of the teacher. I think especially in Latin America, there's more women teachers than men teachers. And Africa is either half-half or slightly more male teachers than females. So increasing the number of role models that girls see in schools, especially female teachers, that's the first, in many rural areas, that's the only woman that has reached any degree, in education typically. I mean, we're talking the really rural areas. So really motivating especially female teachers and male teachers, but particularly female teachers, to demonstrate the power of education and how they've been able to advance their life, and how just simply having that, being able to pursue the teaching degree And now that they can see that there is a path beyond just staying at home, or which is okay. There's nothing wrong. It's perfectly fine. But that they can also reach their own dreams by staying in school.